Your cup, living life with F&D. We won't give up. Spill your coffee, hey, that's okay. We'll laugh it off and seize the day. Sip happens, but we're alright. With Sarah's mug, we'll win the fight. Science stories, laughs and fun. Morning chats for everyone. So take a sip, don't spill the brew. Join the chat, it's made for you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. We are going to try to do this every day due to the fact that AI and YouTube are like I'm always the late bloomer in everything. I feel like they're like terminating, small creators, and if it's not authentic or whatever, I don't know. Just lay off of us. Sorry, this weekend I was planning to get on Saturday night, but as you have read in my post, that I was going to take a nap, and that nap turned into we're gonna sleep all night. So, and then I was like, oh, I might do a late stream if I wake up, and then I ended up just doing my own thing and chilling. With that said, this is really frustrating because now I logged in. I was going to do a live stream on both platforms that I use on Facebook and YouTube to help. And apparently something is glitchy with the platform on Facebook. So yeah, it's just, and then everybody's getting dental work, so paying taxes, getting their refund, getting their dental work. That seems to be a thing right now, the trend. And then what else is going on in this world? And then, crazy party over the weekend. I woke up to that. The expert, streaming about that. Good morning, good morning. I guess it is still morning. It is still morning for me. From New Jersey. Hey, Parkinson Mike. I thought you were, I don't know, in a different state, but oh well. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the club here. And then, what else was I going to say? I got a shout out to FND. She's a psychologist that works with FND teens, and she posted a quite nice video, an apology, about her practicing and her practices with F&D, and I'll link that, down in the comments or in the description below. So I got to give her a major shout out. Like, that was the best video a patient could see. She just realized over the years, I don't know what, caused her to, do this apology. And so that is going to be very helpful for parents out there, and teens going through, F&D. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, to that, psychologist. And I can't remember the name. Anyways, Anna is the Spanish version of FND. She put out a video this morning about 6 tips on F&D, and I kind of want to be the caboose on that little train. And so if you are new to F&D, definitely the first thing that I did was to get on Social Security. That should be your first priority once you get out of the hospital. So that, and then with the psychologist that brought out her apology video, you definitely don't want to trigger hunt your symptoms. Then with stigma comes with, ableism. What is ableism? It's telling somebody, oh, if you push more, you'll gradually get better. Well, that doesn't really work with F&D. And then, so pushing just when you don't, if you don't have any spoons, it's not going to work. Neuroplasticity will come in, eventually figure it out. But I feel like the medication did not help me. So that I'm derailing. I'm derailing. That's okay. So just keep trying different things, but don't trigger hunt. Try to live your life to the fullest. See, I derail and everybody leaves. So the number one thing that has helped me is, especially the past couple weeks, and I've been kind of like, I'm okay. It is okay to stay at home. It is okay to just do whatever. We need to stop pressuring ourselves to do like everything. And I've also, like, if I don't do something on my schedule, that's all right. A little procrastination is okay. We don't need to be constantly running and running and running and running. So this past month, I've been really honing in on just being okay to chill and just be that home buddy. I've kind of taken it upon myself to listen to Mo on the deep end. She's not a people person. She stays at home. She's a cat person. Um, so I've kind of taken that to heart. As you can see, I am working on doing a painting for her. I'm also doing a painting for Squid as well. So I've been kind of working on those simultaneously. So making progress on that. I've gotten that one. I've done that, worked on that. Probably started on Friday, give or take. Days, times run together all over the place. So, anywho, if you can hear that in the background, that's just the sump pump. And so when I pause, I'm trying to pause and look at chat. So I'm kind of utilizing it and working around it. Obviously, I can't use this space for my bedroom anymore. So I'm trying to make this into the art room / YouTube, but the sump pump is really annoying me because it's interfering with my YouTubing, but and eventually I would like to get an actual kitchen table that doesn't have paint all over it and looks dirty, gross, and all that. So, anywho, eventually. Plus, it's actually pretty minimalistic in the rest of the, apartment. So, anyways, so I was trying to walk every other day, and then I just have been kind of staying at home and just really enjoying sleeping normal hours. This is I don't know. I think it's because I am doing banana tea, which is like the new thing. Although I've been kind of like a little concerned because I've noticed maybe some bruising. So I'm probably doing it too much. So I'm gonna kind of knock it down to 3. I've been doing it 3 days a week, doing the banana tea thing every other day or whatever. But I might knock it down to like a once a week and see if this bruising, I have no idea where this bruising came from. So maybe too much, you know. So I might do that. So I'm not a dietitianologist. You can tell that I've been painting, watching Mo on the deep end a little bit too much, getting in a rabbit hole with her channel. And that's the number one thing that I love doing art and doing it for different channels. And I want it to be something, that I do for these channels, and then it gives them just something that they can, if they want to sell prints, they can sell prints. And then I kind of want to make it so you guys can collect these little prints and, kind of like the Furbies, back in the day, teeny beanies, baseball cards, obviously, some won't want to do that, but, oh well. So now this sump pump going off every 2 seconds is like driving me crazy. I might move you guys back into the kitchen for the time being. I don't know what to do with this space. Otherwise, I've learned to do fast clips or, shorts or whatever with this and just record me painting and then do a rapid short video. I have no idea. Or just make it so it's just my space, I have no idea what to do. This technically should have been, closet for, laundry or something. I have no idea. This apartment also could have been, 2 apartment, small, very tiny apartment, 1-bedroom apartments too. So, anywho, so hopefully that helps you guys out there if you're new to F&D, and welcome to the club. It's hard. This is probably the hardest thing that you'll ever have to deal with. But just like Anna, the Spanish version of F&D, find your support system. FNDhope.org is also a good place. They have, support groups that you can join and you'll typically find me in the art support group. On Mondays, I was awake early this morning, very early this morning. And then on Fridays, there's groups in Aussie groups. There's UK. You'll mostly find Monday mornings. Most of the people in the UK, in Europe. And then Fridays are typically Aussie, Americans, US, Canada. There are some Canadian groups. And then every once in a while, there are groups on for cooking. And that's like a series, and I think that's almost done. I think that gets done this week or the end of May. I'll have to double check on that. And then if you're curious about genetic testing, I still haven't heard back from Gene DX. So I will let you guys know on that. I know it said maybe a week, but it might, I'm going to say it's going to be probably a month before we, divulge into all that. And then, but you can find more information on rarediseases.org. It's called NORD, and so there's that. Now, see, I don't know what to do with this space. If you guys have any ideas on maybe how to silence that noise, so I'm kind of gonna get it on my nerves. Anyways, maybe I can put like a sound maker thingy, but then I don't know if it'll mess up with you guys. Maybe I need to put headphones on with you guys. Big ol', Leia ears. Maybe I need to do the Leia ears. Leia buns. Get a pair of Leia buns. I wonder if I could, if anybody wants to find out me dressing up like Princess Leia, that would be funny. Anywho, I'm working on getting on some more channels, talking about my stuff. Squid, there's your painting. If you so happen to visit this morning or watch the replay. Need to get bakers. That's bakers. I need to get Valhalla weights. Celine Dion up there. I need to get send this to Mosardi. One of these days. It was gonna be like $70 to send to Canada. So yeah. Busy. I've put a lot of hours in this artwork. So if I can figure out how to point, there we go. Nope, wrong finger. QR code if you want to send 99 cents. Anything helps. A penny. Although your bank will probably audit that, but anything helps. It would be greatly appreciated. I do need some new art supplies like paints, brushes. My brushes are looking they're getting kind of hard to use. I can't, do the fine line type stuff. I do need more markers. And if you don't want to do Cash App, there is videos with Venmo on it, or you can go to my profile and go to the Amazon and pick and choose something that I might like, and have it mailed to me. So anything helps. It would be greatly appreciated. So gotta get. I'm actually mowing the deep end. I'm actually might hang this up at our local art museum. So might do that. Since she lives in my Indiana state. So, anywho, so that might be fun. And then she's famous. She's really famous. Anywho. Hello, 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 hello. To whoever is watching, Mike, if you're still here, welcome back. You might be the one that's probably going in and out. I do have a question for you, Mike, if you are still here. Do you have dyskinesia and all that going on? I've watched you a little bit with the Parkinson's, so tremors and stuff. So I'm curious on that. I don't think I've ever seen you really wiggle around much. So you can answer. If not, you can reach out to me on those questions via email at livin with no G life with FND at gmail.com. I'm just curious. Anywho, and then also I do know a great massage therapist in New Jersey as well, if you're curious on that. Speaking of massage therapists, we're going to talk about massage therapy. Yeah, that's the wrong screen. You would think that I would learn this by now. I'm looking to also get with a massage therapist. I mean, I have everything that the massage therapist would need. They would just need to bring themselves. That would be easier for me. Now, when I first started with massage therapy, I was all in, wanting massage to be included in the medical field, and then insurance. I wanted insurance to cover it. Now, I was a medical massage therapist for 20 years before F&D kind of derailed my life. And so now, after 20 years, that kind of died down. And especially when I found out, a lot of the corruption and the paperwork involved, which is not as much as being, a specialist for, an attorney or, accident case, an expertise, which can, be extensive paperwork, or injury or whatever. And so that's kind of died down quite a bit, because if anything, F&D has taught me everything I need to know about that and why it's crucial to just let the massage therapists have the flexibility, and then the patient or client have the flexibility, if they come in with a shoulder issue, you can only work in. This is going to drive me crazy. Me and the sump pump. Anyways, you can only work the shoulder with insurance. Whereas F&D, there's all sorts of different, things that affect the person. So and I'm finding that PTs are not really working hands-on anymore. And with F&D, they used to consider F&D before F&D was changed. Conversion disorder was changed to F&D back in 2013. To emphasize the physical aspect. But there is misconceptions that it is still conversion disorder. And it's still misconstrued as psychological. So it's kind of like that, where they're like, now you just need neurological re-education. But F&D needs both, hands-on, because now the healthcare system has given me the aversion to touch. surprisingly. So I need to relearn touch, and especially on my, dominant affected side. Um, so, so yeah, it was all physical therapy, neurological education, how to do, get dressed, put a puzzle together. I mean, we did work with, clay and, or not clay, or Play-Doh, and pick things out of it. But nobody really, and I would spend a lot of time in the hospital, just like, touching my hand with my other hand. And then when I use the sock puppet, I wish I had saved that stupid monkey. But I used it to prevent me from having contractures, like, because they would not give me the hand splint to prevent that. They told me that they don't offer that. They don't keep that in storage, which was kind of odd. And they wouldn't give me a arm sling. Still have issues with my shoulder, subluxation issues, and the other day it popped. So, and I still can't, I don't know why God gave us boobs, bras, all those things. But whatever. Um, so yeah, so anywho, where was I going with that? Um, so I'm trying to find somebody to work with, trade services. And I might have found somebody. I'm hoping that they get in contact. They just opened a new clinic, which I probably won't be able to go to their clinic because it would require driving, Uber. But when it comes to your health and well-being, money means nada. And they have, neurodivergent, spicy, training and inversion and PTSD. So I'm hoping that either they come to my home or I go to them or they refer me out. So I'm gonna try and get this done because it's way overdue. Anywho, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of, did you know in Indiana, solicitation of prostitution or patronizing any sort of prostitution, sexual, sensual misconduct is a Class A misdemeanor for the first offense. It is punishable by up to 1 year of jail, fines of $5,000, and is the charge elevates to a Class 6 if the person has 2 or more prior convictions, resulting in 6 months to 2.5 years in prison, up to 10 grand in fines. This involves paying or offering or any contact. There is a zero, absolutely zero, like big bold letters. When you used to come into my clinic, I had like a very extensive paper form, and this form is it's my policy. It's the boundaries with the practitioner. Discuss, the rules. It discussed the rules. We go over, how are you sleeping, eating, your family, and then I can kind of follow through with, do you need PT? Do you need surgery? Do you need an attorney? Do you need these are all boundaries. There is absolutely zero tolerance for. And I just read about this massage therapist who was setting up for their massage, their new clinic, and they were painting, and this guy, came to her clinic and was like, I'm in excruciating pain and blah blah blah, but at like 9 o'clock at night, and then was like, being a douche, so I'm sure they're blacklisted in the massage world now. Has gotten trouble with the law now. Because I had that form, and because I set these boundaries in my field, my career, and changed things to set these boundaries, this shouldn't even exist, to be honest. That we would have to, when you see a professional, you should, as a patient, you should set these boundaries. It's just ridiculous how what us massage therapists have to deal with from not only this, but people thinking it's okay to, cross that boundary of, can I get a free massage? Or, anyways, like, it's just like, going to your doctor. Can I just have free services? You wouldn't ask that with your doctor. Your doctor is going to bill you a bazillion dollars, So, anywho, it's just. So, I just wanted to put that little tidbit, about massage therapy um, and I think I had less boundary issues. One, because I had a career in medical massage therapy, manual therapy. Um, so seeing a medical, word, um, title, a medical title helped. And then I learned later to change my name to like rehab clinic. That set a better boundary. Having the doors locked during, treatment, or, when I was not, operating, that sets a boundary. Your hours, being set a certain time, set a boundary. And then what else? Setting up your office space to set more boundaries. Having forms is another boundary. Draping, like, was the like number one thing. You do not in you do not have to disrobe. Um, as a medical massage therapist, now I work with, doing more re-education. So wearing, sports gear uh, is a lot better because then I can get you up moving, which is kind of crucial, especially if you are in pain, a lot of, chronic pain or excruciating pain. You don't really want to lay there for too long. So that sets another boundary. So I didn't really have very many incidences, you know, I probably had one one incident where this client patient followed me home, followed me to the bank, and followed me home. Um, that that was definitely reported. Unfortunately, the sheriff did not really do much of anything on that. Um, I did have, friends in the department and that were, cops or retired cops or had insight. Um, and I, would, if I had that intuition that this patient was shady or whatever, I would definitely say something to my cop friends or, um, the sheriff or, whatever, or family or, that I have like this really shady, patient. I'll let how it goes. Um, but more than less, I would be like, you're out. Bye. See ya. You're, blacklist, red list, or whatever color you want to use. So, I've had a couple, and here's the thing, working for somebody, yeah, it has its advantages, and then it has its disadvantages, pros and cons. Most managers that do not have a degree or certificate or whatever you want to call it in massage therapy do not understand time, self-care, and boundaries, and the importance of having self-care, the time in between each patient is crucial because it gives you, not only boundaries, but it gives the, prevents burnout with massage therapists, and they're able to take care of themselves. And paperwork is also another boundary, another crucial thing, for insurance and stuff. And it's always fun trying to remember everything, about, your patients and the milestones and stuff like that. So anywho, that's so that gives you a little insight on, Indiana's laws and regulations on, on crossing boundaries, and, I hope. And then when I saw this massage therapist that I went to, see if they would help me, you know, it just feels good to have that, window of opportunity too, because if I hear he reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm having trouble or whatever, I have contacts. So yeah, so I prefer working on my own versus working for somebody and being my own entrepreneur. I prefer, because I have more control on boundaries and my own time, and prevent burnout, because typical massage therapists, looking back, they used to say massage therapists wouldn't last for like 3 to 5 years. And if I didn't go out on my own, I wouldn't have lasted this long. So yeah, 20 years, that's a lot of bodies. A lot of bodies. And and I've lost a lot of my strength. Can't open jars anymore. I used to be the person that would, open jars. Like, that was like the main goal. I had this Diet Coke. Somebody gave me a Diet Coke, and I was like, I can't open it with one hand. And so I was like, okay, as soon as I get out of the hospital, I'm going to celebrate with this Diet Coke. Unfortunately, it was flat because, it get in us, in my items and storage, and, transferred to, different hospitals. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. So, and then, then I was living with somebody that had dexterity and mobility issues, and can you open this? Nope. I think it was ice cream. There's a certain ice cream that has plastic, canister things, and gelato ice cream. So I couldn't open that. I had to call the company and was like, you need to really make these jars just a hint, And then she was like, oh, just run it under hot water. Okay, that worked. So yeah, it's been an adventure. And with massage therapy, I miss it. I miss every single one of you. I do think about, patients every day, like wondering what they're up to. The snarky elderly, patients, those where you learn a lot. You learn a lot from those patients. So it's just, a great career, you know. Seeing, you know, from parents, you know, having fertility, or a single parent who, you know, who opened my eyes to fertility stuff, and then this fertility adoption to, you know, adopting a foster child, or, you know, to having your one of your patients last, you know, dying wish fulfilled, you know. I've or, you know, you the healthcare system has given up on them, and or neglected, you know, to offer, you know, care, and then you open their eyes, you know. It's like watching a kid, you know, with Christmas and unboxing their Christmas gift, with just 6 sessions, like going from hopelessness, like losing a 6-figure job, forced to retire early, having a surgery where they removed the entire muscle, and then you retrain their body to, you know, be able to move their arm, and, you know, without that muscle, and that major muscle. Um, that was an amazing case. And then helping people, you know, manage their chronic pain, you know, and get it down to a minimal, you know, pain level. And having somebody come in and be like, you've literally, you know, opened my eyes to stuff, and it's just, I miss it. I miss this career. And someday, I'm hoping that I can get back into it. Because if there was a Guinness of World Record lady in the UK that lived to be 98 years old, I think here in the US, the oldest was like 78 or 72 or something like that. But there was a massage therapist, and you can, you know, specializing in certain stuff can help your career, longevity of your career, and taking those boundaries and those, you know, time to mitigate, you know, your career, um, can help. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more shoulder work and specialize and go back into. I originally got into massage therapy because I suffered from headaches and migraines. My neurologist recommended, you know, go for it, you know, go get a massage, because my school, was hiring interns to practice medical massage therapy. So I'm hoping I can get back into massage. I can help you people out there that are dealing with F&D. Get a 503C whatever thing, and I'm hoping that I can get this town, our transportation back on track. They're re-engineering the transportation here in my town. It is a college town. It is, small but big enough that, you can get around once that is re-engineered. We've got a teaching hospital. We've got an, Catholic hospital. So and if you're trying to find a house, I'm going to school for real estate. If not me, then, then I have a ton of real estate, because that was real estate and hairstylist. You always need those people on your side, and market too. Those are because I needed to find a place to, hunker down with, massage therapy. And they know everybody. They're just like massage therapists, except with houses. They see people's, not to my extent, milestone. And then you also need doctors as well. Orthopedic, chiropractors, physical therapists, in your little network. Commerce, social groups. I've been around. So I'm hoping. And a little bit, and then a little bit, and a little bit. And with that, I'm just trying to tell my body, though, that we're okay. We don't need to go. And utilizing this time to just, plan and craft and paint and all that. So I'll get there eventually, maybe. And if it's not in the cards anymore, it's not in the cards. And that's hard. That's really, really hard. When you've invested and, plan and then find out later that you're the late bloomer because you planned so hard. but at the same time, you don't have the means at that time when it's like vital to get, make that leap. It's a hard thing when you settle and then you immediately feel trapped. It's like, but it'll happen when it happens, and just take a leap of faith, and or whatever little faith that you have, I do want to talk about ableism a little bit more. With your F&D, quit letting people gaslight you. Quit with the ableism. Just quit with the ableism, because you're just not ready yet. And I don't want to sound like I'm, gaslighting or, this is you're in for the long haul. You're going to tire quickly. You're not able to do the things that you used to be able to do. Ableism is like, having people tell you when you're not ready to get back into the world. And you don't need validation. You do you, boo. You do you, boo. Or boo boo. Boo boo. Bobo. Whatever. Laugh a lot. Laugh shit off. Laugh it off. McKenna. Go listen to McKenna. I'm blanking on her last name. It's in there. It's in your brain. Laugh it off. And she's got this. I'll post it in the comments. McKinnon. She's been through the ringer. She's had stroke. She's had surgery, brain surgery. Lost her hearing. Had vision issues. She laughs it off, and she came at the right time. She came at the right time, And I'll post that video if you need it, because I'm gonna need it again. You're gonna feel trapped through this. And laughter changes everything. Because laughter, tears, let everything out. If you need to go out and outside and do scream, yell, whatever, have a friend just park you in, in a field or in the forest and let them just go elsewhere and you just scream in the car, I wish I could drive. It's not going to be easy. So try to find your friends. You are not alone in this. And we get stuck in our heads, you know, like we're alone. And when you do get in those moments, go find your friends and go talk. Go find your support. Go talk. Make a plan of, going somewhere, getting out. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. Let's do Zoom. I know it's not the same thing. Come here. Chat with, us on chat. Parkinson's Mike was here earlier. Chat away. Yeah, it's a different, chronic illness, disease, but he could be having, issues, he could have the same issues as you. Look at that. I talk about Mike and then I think I see you. The numbers, this doesn't show numbers very well. I don't know. Anyways, but with F&D, there's CRPS, there's PANS or whatever, malls, there's MS, there's Parkinson's. Listen to my, music on, sounds like Dolly Parton singing CRPS alphabet. Soup of craziness. Go listen to that. There are a lot of similarities in these disorders, syndromes, isms, whatever you want to call it, disease. Very, very similar. So you'll find somebody. You will find, support. And might not be family, it might not be, the other thing that I want to say is try to find, before you get out, if you're dealing with F&D for the first time, they will diagnose you probably with outdated conversion disorder. You want to get that changed. You want the F&D is the correct terminology. Conversion disorder is outdated. It's been outdated since 2013. So get that changed. You want to get Social Security before before anything. And then they'll probably send you to PT, which my medical massage therapy has totally drastically changed on theories and all of the things, and how I will be doing things if I do get back into massage therapy. You know, and I am actually proud of myself that I did get, because I developed over the 15 years, um, a program. Now, this program may or may not work for everybody. Sometimes, it takes more. It might take less. That's all right. That will never change. But I did develop a program that I'm going to say 18 years, 17, 18, somewhere around there, over the course of my career. And I've kind of played with, the numbers a little bit. At first it was like 18, and then I bumped it up to 20, and then I'm like, I need some more self-care, boundaries. So now I'm going to have it 14, 15 hour sessions, or 90-minute sessions. And then before F&D started disrupting, derailing my life, I made it so you pay, up front, but then this derailed, and so that's kind of changed a little bit. But I wanted to make it so, we're not having to pilfer through the purse and, and then make it so, you can just go home and enjoy feeling good and not being in so much pain. Or, like, go home, think about it, and then come back and see me. Where it's not gonna affect me financially, overhead and all, but it's not affecting your time and, investment in busy lives. So anyhow, so I'm hoping that in the next, probably about August, I'm gonna try. Now I can only, I prefer to see you in person. I prefer, hands on. It's the only ethical thing. So, and then the patient has to be here in Indiana. So I'm hoping that I can find people. So if you're interested and you have F&D or Parkinson's, MS, all the other, chronic. I prefer F&D because that's what I'm going to be specializing in. Um, I'm hoping, by August, like, because that would be 3 years of, dealing with this on my own. And then, so for right now, I would be one meeting with you guys via, telehealth, even though I don't really care for telehealth. Because I just kind of want to implement and slowly, gradually, building cases and stuff. And then taking the next step. The next step would be doing house calls. And that's going to be kind of tricky because I can't drive. And then obviously, if you can't drive, then, we got a problem. And then if you can financially support me, at least get me, to come and visit you, or vice versa, then that would be the next step. And then the next step would be to find a central location in my town. Um, and obviously there are, public places where we could meet, although it's not as private. So I gotta figure that out. The good thing is I have a lot of friends that are realtors, so connections with that. And then kind of go. I kind of, because I understand a lot of the financial. F&D has financially burdened me or whatever. So, so I gotta go from there, and then go from there. So I'm hoping too that we can get this 503 organization and slowly getting my community involved with that. Unfortunately, here's this annoying part is having a disability, you have no social life. It's been kind of doctors, appointments, insurance, appointments, doctors, trying to feel good, get my energy, yada, yada, yada. So, and now this would be like one, case per day, one per week, something like that first. And then maybe slowly build from there. And I'm gonna admit that I've tried to get back into massage. I've tried, so, and it's hard and it's expensive going out on your own. So I don't know. So community wise, I honestly feel like nobody remembers me in my community. They have no idea what happened to me. Um, that's hard. That's hard. That that that, and then I feel trapped. And then I get in that trap feeling rut. Um, so, um, anyways, I'm kind of putting you guys down the rabbit hole to all my thoughts. So I'm hoping 3 years is long enough. It's like, and then that puts me down more in a rabbit hole because Medicaid is being cut, or requirements, and two, I'm coming up with, I think it's 3 years with Social Security where they do reval, and with having a disability that technically does not require doctors, therapy, uh, medication, all that. I'm hoping um, that's also putting me down the rabbit hole. I honestly feel like we've been all gaslit. I am not, and I clearly say I am not anti medication at all. Like, some people with diabetes, they need the insulin shot, they need the pill. Um, the psychiatric gaslighting has changed my mind on meds, but if you are bipolar and if your medication is working, great, keep taking it. But there's a lot of research out there that there's actually not much research. We've been gaslit into believing that you need to take this medication for psychiatric forever and ever and ever and ever until you die. That's been debunked in my world. Now, if you are schizophrenic, and I've seen a lot in the little bit that I've been in psychiatric care, that there are some people that are schizophrenic. You can clearly see they were, had developed this, had this, thing, and then it just manifested with, but I honestly think a lot of my stuff is protracted withdrawal symptoms. Now, I did have a concussion before all this derailed as well. And So I still have the headaches and migraines, especially when the bariatric, um, when the pressure of the weather, um, you know, when the pressure gets to me, I definitely feel, a lot of my symptoms have gotten better over time, and I think the past couple weeks, my sleep is a lot better. Um, and I am contributing in that to protracted withdrawal symptoms, um, because I've had when, and I hope I don't have asthmatic bronchitis again this year. Did I have it last year? I know I did have it the following year. That was in 2024. I had asthmatic bronchitis. I get it every other year or so. And looking back, those years that I was maybe on, psychiatric medication, I'm onto something, that it's not a protracted withdrawal, you know. Um, and you can have protracted withdrawal for years. I am going to say that I you can have this whole you can have medication in your system for a long time. Trust me, it builds up. Take it from somebody that has the mother effer mutation. I remember when I was a teen, when I was on, 20 medications by the time I was like, I'm really not feeling well. I need to get off some of these, because it was like, I was on trilopitol for, seizures. So I was taking 4 pills for that. Then uh, Paxil, which I'm highly hypersensitive to. So I was taking that, so that's 5 pills. Then I was taking a pill to water retention. I was starting to retain water. So I think I was either taking 1 or 2 of those, or a half and then a half. So that's another one. I was having trouble with, dairy for some odd reason. So those are as needed. I was taking vitamin B. If you include one of those boosts, which is the worst thing you can drink, from what I've heard and researched. Yeah, it has all these vitamins in it, but yeah, at that time it was in the cans, and then I think I read something. I don't know. Anyways, they're good. Somewhat. um, my favorite was the strawberry. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, so anywho, so that was a lot, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, you know, produce all this, and then got kind of on a vegan. I think I started a ketogenic diet, ketogenic, and then I went vegetarian, and then kind of a vegan, but I kind of dabbled in both, or all three of them. And I lost a lot of weight. Got my water. I was walking 5 miles, and then that increased to, doing that 3 times because the recession. Um, so, and then I started dropping way too much weight at some point. So, and I was so scared to, become anorexic. So I started eating cheeseburgers and bounced right back. Just eating a normal diet. And then, so yeah, and then, but I stayed on Trilopital because, I had epilepsy, partial complex seizures, due to taking Adderall for 5 years. So taking all these pills and this regimen, like, it was insane, hard to keep track of, but I could tell that my body was like, you already have this all in your system, you took this, and it was just, I felt toxic and could feel like whatever medication I took the previous day, that it was still in my system. So then I would have to, take it later and later and later. And then, and then sometimes get to the point where I just, I couldn't take it because, it just, I could still feel it in my body. And for a doctor to gaslight me, and laugh at me that I'm hypersensitive to medication, fuck you. I'm still going to talk about that. That was unethical, unprofessional, and then tell me I'm an adult and need to take, adult, dosages. I was not dreaming on that one. Yeah. And then that same doctor, the psychiatrist, was issuing. Here's what I don't understand. You come in to a mental hospital with severe addiction to, let's say, meth and whatever street drugs, and you're trying to get off and live a life, and they gaslight you to believing that you have a mental fucking illness, like bipolar, or based on your dad and your mom or your cousin, or, who might have, you know, addictive behaviors, and to gaslight, to making them believe that it's all genetic, doesn't, and then putting them on these other meds that they might not have access to outside the hospital, or and then get swept under the fucking rug because insurance fucks them up, because, you know, they dictate apparently now what is good for you, not the doctor, by declining you, and then you have to go through the stupid appeal. That just doesn't make sense. Because then your body's craving it because you are not taking it at the right time or the same time every day. And then you go through the fucking withdrawal of this psychiatric medication, and then we're in this vicious fucking cycle. And then I honestly think a lot of us are, back to my banana tea theory, because that's the only thing that I've changed, you know, in the past 2 weeks, and I'm sleeping fucking great. Sorry, Dad, you know, if you're watching. And then it's just another fucking cycle. And then our President Trump, has passed an order on psychedelics when he's like in the Oval Office, half asleep sometimes. There's receipts out there on the interwebs of him falling asleep. Go watch Luke. There's a couple other YouTubers out there. And he's half asleep, or I honestly think you have dementia, dude. Because when you were shaking Joe Schmo's hand, you can clearly see it on his face that he didn't know who Joe Schmo was, and if you know, or he was kind of half out of it. Here's a little funny story. I got my hair cut one time, and I don't remember if she had pictures of Obama. And then we got to talking about it. It's been so long ago, but apparently she had to go through the whole, you know, Secret Service, you know, but got my hair cut and got to sit where Obama sat and got his haircut. I hope I'm not making up that story. It's been so long ago. And then the hairstylist had a funny name, and we just, so kind of joking, about that. And so that was kind of cool. That's a cool story, cool memory. And if anybody should run, I think Michelle Obama should run. Just for, my own entertainment. I'm not really I I don't care what lane you run. It's none of my business. At all. They always say, the two things that you don't really talk about with, anybody is, religion and politics, because it makes people mad and upset and yada yada. But now that I'm doing this channel, I'm like, I'm exercising my freedom of speech. I'm, doing something very powerful for myself, something good for myself, because I've always needed to seek validation, and ever since, and with the FND, it's changed my game to I need to live the life to the fullest. I need, I need to stop structuring my life according to whoever. This is my game. I'm going to show accountability. I'm going to show, if I fuck up, cool. If I do something fucking amazing, I can look back and be like, damn, girl. Damn. If people only knew how far I've come, obviously you can't see that in, let's see, a 2-hour video so far. Like, F&D has changed my world. I'm not gonna let it intimidate me. I'm gonna structure my world a little bit, take my time, do this and that and the other. I've changed my thinking, so much. And that's what therapy and psychiatry, the hospital, their gaslighting, their ableism, all that has, I'm trying to change your thinking too, because they said basically, good luck. You have conversion disorder, and then you get into the mess of, you. I think this is the most gaslit thing anybody could say is, you can't work. You can't work. You can. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing art. You can work. Just, you gotta think outside the box. You can. Yeah, you might have to restructure because you're feeling so fucking malaise and you don't want to get out of bed. Talk to somebody, that's a mental job, emotional job. Um, you can text without even looking at the screen. Because I feel like that keeps you in the fucking, excuse my language today. I'm starting to use the F bomb. Sorry. Sorry. I owe you a Coke. Um it just irritates me, You just have to find your pace. Your physics. If you math, physics, to your own condition. Um, you'll be okay. You know. So, and that's something that I need to like watch out myself when I listen to people talk. Um, and yeah, it is your own journey. This is a disorder that varies day to day. But, you know, like when you get up in the morning, the very first thing you need to do is just like, what is one thing that I can do today? And that should always be go brush your teeth and look at yourself in the mirror and comment how beautiful, handsome, and how amazing you are. Then go make your bed. Or if all you can do is, stand up, sit down, and that's all you can do today, you're fucking amazing. If you need to hear that, clip this. You are amazing. You can do shit. Laugh. Like, I think her name is Jenna McKinnon. Yeah. Something like that. Sorry if I'm doxing your name. I will clip it in. And if I forget, yell at me in the comments down below. You will get there, and you will You will, you will, you will, you will, you will. Um, I think I'm overdue for family get-togethers to remind me, how amazing I am and how far I've come and yada yada yada. We need to do lunch if you are watching this right now or watch the replay. Um, do art in bed. Just doodle, scribble. That gets your, hand moving, fingers moving. Um, and if you're paralyzed, try to, do just clap, rub your hand, feel it. Have somebody get you like ice. Dip your hand in ice, warm water or hot water, and if your leg is paralyzed, try, moving it up and down, sliding it. And you might have to use the sheet or a band. Don't use an exercise band because it's rubber. Use, a gait belt. Use a gait belt and move your leg up and down the best you can. Just put a little knot in it and, tie it around have somebody, move your leg. Just, you gotta keep moving with this disorder because if you don't, you're liable for clots, and that can happen very fast. Not to scare you or anything like that, but you've got to keep moving, going to the bathroom, getting up, using the bedside toilet. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Don't depend on, if you have to crawl, you have to crawl. We can crawl. Just keep your body moving. I'm not trying to scare you. I just know how the body works, because then you're going to need, if you don't move and you're sleeping, in you're in that post-exertional malaise and you're sleeping, up to 23 hours a day. You're going to need, blood thinners. And that can cause the circulation issue. Both of them can cause the circulation, and then that can kind of imitate or look like POTS. And then you don't want all the chronic more issues on top of, your symptoms. Anyways. So keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. No matter how tired you are, I know you just want to chill, but it's kind of counterintuitive. But you need to find your happy place where, you're doing something like art, painting, for 20 minutes, standing for 20 minutes, sit down for 20 minutes. That's what I did. And then also what I did, if you look at all my videos in the past, feel free to get into that rabbit hole. I, instead of having my bed on on a frame, I put it on the floor. And that reactivates your, quad muscles. Those are the first, to go with, paralysis. So get those moving. Get those moving. Best exercise. So I would, sleep on the floor, take a 20-minute, little cat nap, watch, YouTube. And then I would paint. Sit in a chair, paint. I have this rolling chair, my massage chair. And then I, do these exercises. So I, walk with my little stool. Up, I made an error on my painting, and I back up, look at it again. Did I roll on? Can't find it. Okay, there might be some stuff in my wheels. Might have to. Oh, I rolled on a coin. So, moving around, doing what I call the crab. Move around. And if you can only do 8 of these, so side to side, back to forth, walk around in your chair. Just be careful that you don't, do a tumble. So those are good exercises, to move around. Plus, if you're cooking, or, obviously do it at the kitchen table because it's just a little bit lower. Because obviously your house is not yet set up for, wheelchair use. Mix something in a bowl, So it takes a lot of outside of the box thinking. What can you do? What little task can you do? For a while, my laundry was my biggest task. I would go get the mail every day. Every day was okay, I need to go get the mail. And then once a week, I would do trash, or and then I would put it in the Walmart bags versus big bag, because I had this balance issue with holding something in my, my hand, my affected hand, and trying to use the walker, and it was coordination. But then eventually I'd, in the summer when it was not snowing, okay, get rid of the walker, and then carry the big bag of trash and try to tuck it over. Obviously, if they close the lid during trash in the morning, obviously I couldn't take the trash out. And then getting the mail, taking the trash out, and then the biggest task, since we didn't have laundry in our unit or in the building, laundry was the biggest. And then cooking a meal was also, a weekly, twice a week task, give or take, depending on how hungry I was. But usually, it was like a microwavable meal, pop it in for 2 minutes, go lay down, and then go get my meal. So those are some things. Um, and then I would try to take a walk once a week to really see where I was at, with the walker. I hardly go, if I go anywhere that I know that I'm going somewhere, I usually opt out on the walker as long as it's short, Um, and then, like, now I do go most of the time, like in the winter time with snow, I go with walker regardless. If I go by myself somewhere, I go with the walker anywhere. Um, but at art class, I'm not doing much of the walker anymore. I try to keep the walker and my little emergency bag at home because I've hardly had to use that thing. Now I did. I accidentally washed my document because I put it in my pocket because I just was like, I'm not gonna carry my bag with me. But yeah, I just. But it's been nice now that I live closer to a little pantry, grocery, not necessarily a gas station. There's no gas. It's just, I call it a pantry. And there's a couple restaurants that are walking distance and a lot closer, thank goodness. The other apartment that I lived in was a half mile, and then it was a grocery store. Um, so I was pretty tired. That would knock me out, you know, not for a day, but several days. So doing that back and forth. Um, and by the time I moved, they had changed the bus. So there was a bus stop there that I could have hopped on, but then I would have had to go to the next stop and then, whatever. Or like ride and then they would, whatever. But and now I only need one bus to get to, like the bus station, which is nice because then now I can go visit my family instead of big bus and then two buses to get home. Now it's just one bus and then big bus. Greyhound. It's to go see family. So that's a nice change, and I'm closer to um, the downtown area. Um, Now, if I did want to go to Wally World, it's still two buses. Either way, like both ways, but um, and it's nice that I can go to. There's a studio that I can connect with a bunch of other people and events and stuff. So that's also nice. It'll be fun. We're having kind of a festival downtown. That starts up next week, I think. So that'll be fun because then instead of 2 buses, it'll take just 1 bus. And if I take the bus, I'll probably take Uber or Lyft. Now, the upsetting thing is now I like Jimmy John's. Mainly because they accept cash when they deliver. And then, but this one will not deliver to my home because apparently I'm in the gray area, which does not make any sense. So, that was kind of a disappointment. You would think they would deliver. I don't know. We're in a college town, so maybe they only deliver, in the college town. Who knows? Too many rules and all that jazz. So, hello, whoever is lurking. Welcome, welcome. I'm just kind of chit-chatting about this and that and the other for 2.5 hours. Anywho, I have been working on this painting. Mo and the Deep End is right there. And then Squid Pro Quo. You'll have to go check them out. And you disappear. See, and then that's gonna frustrate me because it's only been showing one person pops in and out, maybe 2. So let me backtrack. So AI is basically taking over, and then YouTube is like terminating, these small creators. And if you're got controversial, non-authentic stuff, they're terminating. Just like I've seen somebody comment about, this creator who just got terminated, no notification or whatever. Yep. So that's really upsetting. And I talk about literally everything. I'm like, I take every penny of my freedom of speech and talk about controversial things or new stuff, or is nuance the right word? Where, we've been gaslit, we've been lied to for way too long. And I think, too, see, I'd rather talk about important stuff like this than 8th grade or 2nd grade type stuff. Because then that doesn't help your brain. And especially if you are in my family who have family members who have a history of dementia, Alzheimer's, and I rather grow up my brain. I rather expand my brain, talk about very intellectual type stuff. Yeah, my F&D has kind of derailed my brain a little bit. Can't talk, can't spell. Earlier, if you were in Mo in the Deep Ends chat, I can't spell. I rely on, autocorrect to spell for me, apparently, and I just let it go. I'm not illiterate. I do not have dyslexia. So, yeah. I rather expand my brain. I rather explore. I rather grow. And that's where I get kind of feeling like trapped and frustrated because, my social life has drastically changed. Like, I don't feel like I exist. I don't feel like I exist anymore. Yeah, I know I have to take the time to just slowly regrow and learn and da 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 da. So I don't want to, and that's where your brain rots when you're doing the same thing over and over, same schedule, same thing over and 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 over. You don't expand your brain. You don't move. You live in the same house for 40 years. Doing the same monotonous thing is not helpful for your brain. It's not. It rots your brain. So, like, later today, I would like to go outside. And I'm going to hopefully not, ever since they mowed the yard, we've been having hornets. So, was it last week that I mailed my genetic test? So, my address is a little funky. Like, the postal office, when I got my address, all switcherooed, they were not going to recognize the address because there's something funky in the address. And so now FedEx didn't recognize my address. I feel like I'm having a deja vu that I've already talked about this last week. Maybe not. That's okay. We can repeat ourselves a little bit. Hey, Yana! Welcome. Hey, I was talking about you behind your back. Love you. Good things, though. Just kind of, where's my hearts? I'm giving you big hearts. See? Big hearts. Oh my goodness. It's not going to let me do it. Where's my hearts? There we go. There we go. So I'm kind of the caboose on yours and another YouTuber who's a psychologist who works with teens with FND. She made an apology about her practicing, and just like it's a great. I think I saved it in my other YouTubers. If you go and check out my playlist of other YouTubers, you'll find stuff that I find very useful. And so she made an apology, and so I'm kind of collabing a little bit, be the caboose. I'm the big old caboose of. I'm the late bloomer for anything. That's all right. Because I feel like I'm, you guys, new to, learning. Anyways, I derailed. I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, so just keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding your mind. And go beyond the gaslighting bullshit out there. Like, if it doesn't make 2 cents, it's time for you to move on. Find somebody else. And like I always say, I forgot to put this stupid thing on. Whoops. Oh well. I just noticed that. If you would like to partake in my show, I really do want to try people coming out, calling in. So, like a talk show, like, did I ever like call in radio shows or anything? I don't think I've ever done that before. I don't think I've ever like called in requesting a song. I don't know. I don't know. That's a sign that you're getting old, when you don't remember things. Cool things like that. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think so. I have other cool stuff that maybe I will share later down the line. Anyways, 2.5 hours. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Sarah, and I've been living with functional neurological disorders since 2023. I gotta say this all the time. It's where your brain and your body do not communicate very well. I probably have protracted withdrawal symptoms. I could be misdiagnosed. I just did a genetic test to maybe be a guinea pig for you guys out there to see if there's any similarities in genetics, if anybody's interested. I did it for other reasons too, because I've been misdiagnosed for, this, that, and the other, and we're still missing some key thing. I still feel like we're still missing something. So I went ahead and did that last week. You'll probably see that, in the video at the end. So go check that out. Go like that. And if you notice that AI or YouTube is unsubscribed you, please make sure that you hit the all notifications, because I do not schedule these anymore. I just kind of go on the fly. And so that's how it works around here. So there's miscommunication with my nervous system. It's kind of broken. But it is getting better for right now. You will have flares here and there, remissions. You might have major flares. And if you follow Anna, go check her out. Anna, I think I need to make you a mod. But you are more than welcome to give that link. I will double check on that later, I promise. And if I don't make you a mod, yell and bitch at me out. You won't do that. You're a total sweetheart. Use your mom on me. Ground me. So Mother's Day is coming up soon. I would like to adopt a mom for Mother's Day. So if you are a mom out there, feel free to email me and tell me why you want to be my mom for the day. Tell me why you would like to adopt me for the day. And you might win a little something. Little flowers for the day. Make you feel good. I wish I could do massage, or I might do something in that aspect. I don't know. I can't really afford much, but I will do something special. Send you candies, painting. I might do something special. So, send me your alias, your real name, and why you want, to be my mom for the day, or adopt me for the day, or whatever you want to do. Whatever, Sarah, whatever you're trying to say. Anyways, I hope whatever YouTube is doing, or AI, I hope this trend is going away pretty soon. I hope this doesn't affect many people that either are starting out being a late bloomer or have, invested a lot of time in YouTube. It honestly makes me, as an American, worry about our future. It enrages me because it kind of violates your freedom of speech and, your freedoms. I'm not going to cry on that one because I'm going to go protest if this really and then here's my theory on this weekend's. I think it was staged. I think there's a lot of fake news out there. So be aware. This AI stuff has to quit because it's fake news. It's creating fake news. This it's gaslighting us. It's fake news. What else do I want to put out there? I was watching, something about, AI and the water system and how everything, if you ask a question for something that utilizes a bunch of water and see, I'm a weirdo. I like this, stuff. I'm a nerd. So I think a lot of this is staged. I think the ballroom is something else. It's a gimmick to, get funding. I'm probably going to get canceled for all this. That's okay. This was a journey. This was, it definitely helps me, talking to you guys, and I think it helps me more than therapy. It's a lot easier for you to talk, to the wall or the, stupid light on the camera, and you don't really have to look at somebody and talk about, nitty gritty stuff. Yeah, I might divulge into some nitty gritty stuff. We're gonna probably divulge into my surgery that I had in 2019. which I'm perfectly okay talking on YouTube. I'm not gonna do Patreon, because one, I know that there's people out there that need this information, need this education. Um, and I think that is also another precursor to this F&D stuff. I might have to divulge into Rumble versus YouTube because, they might cancel me. Because the rules or whatever, I don't know. Anyways, or locals, I don't know. I haven't really. I just really want just one stream. Um, and I do really think a lot of my symptoms are protracted withdrawal. I do think I have F&D. Like, the girl slamming the doors and stuff cause, some, and then the abuse in healthcare, and then the concussion fall. I've had falls in the past. And then I do think maybe, I don't know, could I have had this F&D since childhood? Who knows? Um, I I can't wait for the genetic testing. Because it's just gonna help. And if you have like diabetes or heart issues, actual electrical seizures, then yes. Broken bone, you need rehab, you're gonna need to go to the doctor on a regular basis. But F&D does not require. We need to help those out there that are new to. I want to find people, whether I have to like work with mental health and social workers somehow, some way, to find you newbies out there, so then you don't feel alone, and then prevent you from having to go to the hospital and this stupid cycle of, oh, I need to go to the hospital because of seizures and stuff. I know that, AI or algorithms or whatever will find you, but I'd rather find you in person. And just, I don't know. Sounds like it's raining. Thunderstorms. It's, yes, Anna, talking about F&D on YouTube has helped me a lot, better than therapy for sure. Now, I'm not saying I'm anti-therapy. Like, I feel like we need to talk to coaches versus therapy. Therapy is actually designed to it's a money machine. It's big pharma, it's sick care. It's created. I think we need to talk to coaches. And I don't know, maybe I need to become a coach. I need to talk to Angie Peacock and see if she can kind of help me down that path and become an actual coach. I watched too much on YouTube. I have a problem, everybody. I have a problem. I have a definite problem with YouTube. I have a YouTube problem. I have a confession. I have a YouTube problem. Don't make me go back to Catholic high school. No. I will go kicking and screaming. I think all my teachers. I think our class made them just like cry when they went home. I think our class was the worst class ever. I'm sure that all those teachers needed therapy. Sorry, out there. We were fun little group. Anyways. At least it wasn't the time where, the nuns taught. I would have been in a lot of trouble. A lot of Hail Marys. My mom I'm sure she's shaking her head. Shaking her head, all the times that all I can say is I did not belong there. I've had a range of different, I've been to Methodist, I've been to Lutheran, Christian, non-Baptist. I've seen it all. I think what works for me, being a massage therapist, you kind of line up with the Buddhist. I'm not Buddhist, but it just lines up with that career, and you and now I have FND, and that's changed my path on that. Obviously, I've seen, felt some true power with that prayer. And that was like the first time and second time working with these monks, who visited our town. And so that really stuck with me. So, yeah. And here I am talking about religion, politics, but I don't care if it helps somebody out there, that's to your discretion, you know? You, that's also the nice thing. And even individualized therapy is one thing, and then group therapy is another thing. But I honestly think YouTube has just exploded my mind. You know, it's given me just, it's exploded my mind. Let's just leave it at that. Like, yeah, pain is a psychobio, social thing. Yeah, you need other people's to grow. So I should be, and that's why I like chat, because then you can ask questions, you can give your opinions. Um, so it's just really helped me the most. I'm not saying stop therapy. If it helps you, and if they're putting you on that path of, like, coaching you, it's I feel like it's unethical if you are not a specialist and stuff. Um, if you're gaslighting, um, if you're not keeping records very well or at all, you're not taking notes, you're not remembering the patient's, last visit, you're trying to doctor them or gaslight them, thinking what is wrong with not, or what is wrong with, you know, I'm getting stuck tongue tied here. What is wrong with medication? And that's a sign that, or you're getting mad because they're not, they're like kind of wanting to, explore the world without you, and like, but then when they need you again to chat, and then you get upset about that. I've I, Where you're seeing them weekly and weekly and weekly, and and you're not accepting payment or letting it just like a sliding scale, or and you're not referring them out if things are not working out, or just be like, look, you just, and some of it is my fault, and but Thank you, Anna. Thank you for derailing me. Yes, I'm working on. I'm almost done with mowing the deep end, and then Squid Pro Quo, and then Celine Dion. I watched this family up here. That's kind of cool. Woo! That's kind of cool. Can I do that again? Cool. We'll just pick his nose. And then Valhalla Waits back there. We need to get going. We need to collab. I need to get going on your channel. And put an ear hole on their ears. And then Broken Baker. Oh, I can't. It's backwards. Anyways, we're getting there. I'm hoping. See, like, I don't want to give up on painting altogether because that would be dumb. And you would, yell at me, ground me. I enjoy it. It, like, it helps with, like, the dopamine of the brain or whatever. So, but it's kind of frustrating because I'm not making any money. The starving artist. Like, I believe that artists that are dead do not need money. They're dead. The people that are alive, that are artists, they need the money. They work hard. They have overhead. They need the money. Not artists who are dead. You can give them the credit, explore the history. That's all that they need. Maybe the facility needs the funds. But artists who are alive need to be paid. They work many hours. Okay? Like Celine Dion, that was probably a week. This is kind of cool. Celine Dion? That's kind of cool! I learned something new! Maybe. Yeah, it's just faces. Let's see it. Move on the deep end. Huh. I learned something new! Nope, no. Maybe it's because it's at an angle. Huh. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Do the little people? My little people do it? Maybe it's too far. You learned something new. Cool. Technology at its best. It's advancing. Maybe a not so good idea. I used to think that it was like crazy cool, important, but this AI stuff is like I think it's too advanced for our generation. Like maybe in 2040, that makes more sense. We're just not there yet. We're getting there too fast, I think, too. And, my brain in 1995, 2000, my inner child is like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Because, I know Rosie the robot on the Jetsons was before my time, and I'm sure those that grew up with the Jetsons, when it first are mind boggled as well. Like, I'm like in between, It's like, I know I'm a millennial. I know I'm not a Gen whatever, Gen Z or whatever. I don't know. I forget. Anyways, so it's like, and it's so fun, because my dad is not a baby boomer. He grew up, you know, I don't think he's a baby boomer. Let me double check. He's just shy. Hang on. Yeah, he's in the silent generation. And then, yeah, my mom would have been in, she would have been, I would say she was like borderline baby boomer, more baby boomer, but she was in the silent generation. And then, yeah, I'm a millennial. And some of these Generation Alpha, they're, I can be a Gen Z sometimes, especially when it comes to technology. But then, I kind of go back and forth. But then when you grow up with, like baby boomers and Gen X and, the other, you know, the silent, generation, you kind of bounce back and forth. So, anyways. Ben X. Okay, so being a massage therapist, when I was first in the hospital, figuring out, FND, and I was having really bad pain, I'm like, if I was closer to home, I would have my family members or friends go get me Cryoderm. They gave me Bengay for my pain. And I was just like, oh my God, I smell like a grandma. That was the funniest. And of course, I was having issues mobility wise and the disconnect with, with my body. And so the nurses, and I even think the doctor that for that day subscribed it, I think it was a nurse, came and put it on my legs. And I'm like, this is not going to work. The nice thing about Cryoderm is it's a spray. It has different alcohol, so it's going to penetrate a little bit deeper. It's got, I forget, less ingredients than biofreeze and it definitely does not have the heating element, which is the capsaicin and camphor and stuff like that, which will increase your inflammation. So that is why I have been loyal to Cryoderm since 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. That's where I learned about it, and I went to a conference, and that's where I learned about it. So, and if you are in Indiana and you are interested on a, you'll have to watch the replay. Brain fart. So you're gonna have to go watch a replay. I don't know. I don't know where I went. Derail. Anywho, that's all right. I talk a lot. Wow, my battery is dying, and I didn't plug you guys in. 3 hours is quite a bit. If you don't know me by now, I do have speech issues. If you watch this on the replay, I highly recommend watching it on 1. Watch it on 2.0 speed, because I do talk slow and stutter, and with F&D, as you can see, I brain fart all the time and derail and get distracted with you guys because I have the attention span of a gnat. So, or a cat. I might turn into a cat here shortly after this, stream of whatever time I want to do this. I think I'm just wanting to go until my battery dies. literally on the computer and me. I'm just chatty today. I'm just I'm a little derailed, distracted by the sump pump. If you hear the noise in the background, that is just the sump pump, and a good time when you hear that to chat, ask questions, concerns. Feel free to, let's make it a deal to try to, I want to make this a talk radio station where podcast, whatever, where you get 3 minutes to win it, and don't let that deter you from leaving a voicemail with a question, concern. You can relay a message to Anna. I can't speak Spanish. No habla español. Poquito español. I know how to say derecha. Vámonos. That's pretty much. And you would be surprised. I practically lived with my bestie in high school, even in college times, going, literally, like I was at her house all the time. We listened to television all the time. They were from Venezuela, so they expected you to. And I spent a lot of time with Lala. Bless her heart. She was trying to learn English and she was like trying to teach me Spanish. I forget what I was trying to communicate to her. We were trying to communicate about something. And then I was just like, I'm gonna just spend some quality time. That's the type of person I am. Like, I would go to like my friend's house. They could be like sitting, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning, organizing toys, doing laundry, and we just chit chat. We didn't have to go anywhere. And I'd be like at their house, didn't have to really have like, call, text. Call, text, and just show up on the fly, and I'd be there until they, at 11 o'clock at night, throw a pillow, blanket, here you go, stay the night. And then I'd leave in the morning. I do miss those days. Unfortunately, moving and then we just kind of derailed. So I need to find a friend out there. If you want to be my friend who has like 6 kids, 7 kids, I will help, clean, help with kids' issues. And fortunately, I can't drive, so it gets me out of the house. You're more than welcome to sign up, name. I don't know. Yeah, I know, Anna. I know you do Spanglish. You do Spanglish too. Um, you greet and all that. And you should, try to make it all Spanish. It's just an idea. Because we could work together. We could collab together. It's an idea. Woo! We are getting storms. That's where I was derailing. We were going to look at the weather. Severe thunderstorm. You see if there's thunderstorms. That sounded like thunder of, Not seeing anything tornado-wise, but we're gonna go look at the real weather, not the thing on my computer. Just to make sure, because Indiana is notorious for the storm here has knocked off our weather off the air. Okay. One weather alert. Till 7 p.m. The nice thing is I'm in the basement. I live under a rock. So, okie dokie. So I should probably log off of here. I hope you enjoyed this video of me just chit chatting. We're gonna try to do this daily until this stupid AI YouTube trend maybe subsides, gets better. They decide not to do this to people because it's gonna make people enraged and hurt a lot of people, especially if you are kind of doing this on a side hustle. This is only a side hustle. It's gonna take me forever to make a penny. So because people like drama and controversial stuff, and they don't really care, especially AI or algorithms do not like when you are getting better, obviously, and beating the shit out of F&D. It likes more drama and chaos, I guess. I don't know. Just being funny. Yeah, I know. So, I don't think I'm gonna stream much of Squid Pro Quo. I'm just gonna probably share hers, and then I definitely will not share when I add baby squid, because that is not my area to share. So stay tuned. You will see squid probably next week, and then I'm hoping Mo in the Deep End, I'll get that shipped off to her. I do want to get a frame, gold frame for that. So then I want to have her immediately hang it up in a good spot. Anyways, back to the art. I want to make money doing this. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I need to change my mentality on that somehow, some way. Like the goal is, I kind of really realistically need to be doing more, my support and local type stuff, but I want to be seen, so I've been like doing more YouTube creation type stuff too, because that's where it's like helping me with the trap feeling of I don't feel like I exist. And that's where YouTube has helped me feeling that less. I mean, it's still there. Um, Gosh, I wish I could drive. I wish I could. Okay, thank you, Anna. If you guys want something done, feel free to email me. My email is livinglifewithfnd@gmail.com. Feel free. Um, and um, my starting rate for something like this, I do portraits mostly, but I can do pretty much anything. You send me like if you're wanting me to do a portrait of something, definitely send me about 4 pictures of what you want me to do, and then let me have the freedom, if you please, of like if I need to change your hair color or the person's hair color, or if I need to tweak the face. I usually use, a cell phone, um, and I can fix anything. Trust me. Um, 3 to 4 pictures. They don't have to be the same picture and various things. Yeah, I can definitely do your cats. Um, that would be good. And then I usually typically use canvas board panel, 16 by 20. It's just, I've done a lot of research on size and, how to hang it up. Um, Especially for portraits, 16 by 20 is the typical, a good size. If you need a frame, I'm not mailing glass or plexiglass through the mail because I've had, my dad was making me shadow box frames. So because I do 3D type, art as well, and that's the starting rate is $189. Because if you think about it, the time that I spent all week, and I can usually get it a week to month at most, depending on how much 3D and stuff like that. But that's just what I'm gonna start with, and then like the maximum rate I'm willing to accept is 550, 789 ish. But and I would love to get to that point, but I'll get there eventually. I just would like to once a month be able to pay, a big bill or whatever. I do have genetic testing that I do need to get paid money for grift, and I would like to pay that myself, not borrow money or so or live off of my social security because I'm like just I just want to make money, something and I would like to be able to get a Diet Coke. Something as small as a Diet Coke is like go walk to the pantry and get a Diet Coke because Diet Coke is no longer you can't. That seemed like a long. Must be really raining now. It's not pump. So I would like to be able to get a Diet Coke because SNAP benefits will not. You can't buy a Diet Coke with SNAP, and it's driving me crazy. I haven't had a Diet Coke in 2 or 3 weeks, give or take. I need a Diet Coke. I need a Diet Coke. And if you would like to just send me a Diet Coke, I will pay whatever for a Diet Coke. I will get my Diet Coke probably next week. That's when I get into divvying and paying bills and stuff. Hilarious. That's like, I hate to admit it, that's like my cigarette. I don't smoke. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. That's my cigarette. And that's okay. What you know when you change like healthcare, you change the food industry, you flip the pyramid upside down, you stop letting your Americans get a Diet Coke or a snack, like chocolate, M&Ms, there's people with diabetes that need, sugar on hand, especially if their sugar drops, and it not only is not safe, It's unhealthy. Like, it would be great if SNAP benefits, you were able to, one, get your Walmart membership included in that. Because you have to wait a year for the stupid Social Security to kick in because you're denied that first year. It's stupid. And like I wish SNAP you could at least like once a month you could go and like get a cheeseburger, with your SNAP benefits. That would be great. And I might be sounding like a liberal. I honestly don't care what you guys think. But it'd be great, and it doesn't have, you can only select, X number, at McDonald's, once a month, I will definitely protest on, Diet Coke. That is the dumbest idea. That and then flipping the whole pyramid upside down. That kind of can lead to health concerns for people. It can. And if you watch my video relay later, I will admit I have a eating disorder. I have body dysmorphia. And I am utilizing this channel to overcome that too. You will see that more and more that I am challenging myself to see myself and be comfortable with, being extra fluffy on camera. I've developed that when I started Adderall. And I started Adderall when the era of, oh, your child is, sleeping a lot in class. Because I felt like that's where I look at this, is I've been misdiagnosed. Everybody has misdiagnosed me, and thinks that grief is depression, anxiety is bipolar, bipolar turns into whatever. When I have a genetic test, look at the mother effer gene, is psychiatry, you're getting it all wrong. It's not up here. It's metabolic. Everything is metabolic. It's not up here. It's not a chemical imbalance up here. Just like F and D. I think I have the theory that it is, injury, arthritis, bone on bone action. And then fibromyalgia. We're not meant to do everything, the world. All right, guys. Well, I am getting the notification that I need to power you guys up. So I think it's time for me to go. Love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me for 3.5 hours. Love you. We'll see you tomorrow. I promise. We're going to do this every day. Power on. Go get yourself a drink. Go take a bathroom break. I'm sorry I've been just kind of ranting and raving. Love you guys. And if you are struggling, you will get through this. Go look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to do this. Go brush your teeth. We all have stink breath. Go brush your teeth. Eat, and then go brush your teeth. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave. If this is not your thing, go find somebody else. But you will get through this. I promise you. I promise you. You will get through this. And when you look at yourself in the mirror, just explode that. Like, I promise you. And that is going to tell your, brain that you will get through this. I will one day work again. One day I will get back into massage. One day. It just takes one day, one step at a time. And it will do things up here. It will neuroplasticity is an amazing thing. You will feel it. You will change. You will adapt. You will move forward. You will F&D. We can say that to F&D. You will win. You will win whatever disorder, syndrome you were challenged with. Just one step at a time. And I miss Danny Direct every day. And that's where I get a lot of my inspiration is from her. I miss that chicky poo. You need to come back to YouTube. Love you guys. Where's my heart? There we go. Love you guys. Bye.
Well, that's a wrap. The coffee's done, but our fight's just begun. We power strong like warriors.